Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Irish Spaghetti Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Billy G. This is Nikki P.
Hi.
Nick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. You know,
That's our opening.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, like, when I come over, we just don't say anything to each other. This is where I get a genuine reaction for some. So when we finally, like, set it off, I go, how are you, Nick? And I get, like, a genuine reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? How weird would that be?
I think we should just stare at the camera for 30 seconds without saying anything and then just start talking about the first topic.
Just roll right into it.
Everyone think the screen froze. Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like this, and this just be all choppy, like, Nick, how are you?
Like one of those British guards that you stand out front, you get to fuck with them, and they have like the fucking.
You know what? You can fuck with them so far. You know what I mean? You've seen the videos of knocking people.
Isn't the rule like you're only not allowed to touch them?
Yeah, you can't touch them.
Right.
You touch them, you put it's
You can almost touch them though.
It's the magistrate guard, the royal guard or whatever. Yeah. And if you put your hands on them, they get to punch you, or they get to punch you. They can get physical.
They can like rifle butt you in the fucking.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny, dude?
Just put you down.
It's always some fucking American going, oh yeah, I'm American.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
They become an attraction.
Yeah, you see, yeah, exactly.
How would that feel
show.
if you're like in like the actual British military or whatever? Like it's supposed to be like a very serious and prestigious title that you have. And we're over there just mocking him like a tourist attraction and making fun
fucking
of him.
Joe.
Yeah.
like those.
I'm not touching you.
Yeah,
I'm not touching you. I would rather be touched than almost touched.
Well, because honestly, if some fucking British dude walked up to Air Force One and those generals and everybody that's sitting out there like a tenant and walks over and goes, "Oi, hey, you bloke, what you doing? Oh, hey, oh, got your tickets, anybody got your tickets?" And they just start Monty Python.
Bangkok.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna all clutch our pearls and we're gonna go, how dare he?
The righteous indignation.
How dare he
sweep
disrespect us? Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we got fucking people in Disneyland sweatshirts and weird tumblers going over there, fucking with their royal guard. It's just the disrespect.
Flip flops on.
But that's what it is. I mean, the truth is that we take our level of disrespect for law enforcement.
Oh, 100%.
We're so fucking entitled. Listen, I'm not speaking as, I'm talking about the royal way.
We're not the greatest adapters of other people's cultures when we travel.
Yeah.
We're like American everywhere we go. We don't even try to assimilate at all. It's just I'm American, now I'm American in Japan, now I'm American in the UK.
I stand up when I eat sushi and I don't take my shoes off in the Taj Mahal. But you know what? How about this? Every fucking Japanese businessman that comes out here and doesn't tip our bartenders and shit like that. So, you know what I mean?
Tit for tat.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's not pretend like we don't all know at this point that tipping is a thing. Like with the internet and the way that things have gone in general, that old excuse like, oh, they don't do it out there so they don't know. That's not fucking true anymore.
Nope.
It's not, man.
Nope.
They come in and they know that we think that they don't know, so they use that to their advantage not to tip. I swear to God.
They're just...
We were both in the restaurant industry. That's where we're waiting for our job to reopen, but he's a server. And we've been dealing with this for years and years, and they're the absolute fucking worst. Especially Europeans. What would you say is the number one worst? Mexicans.
Mexicans are absolutely hands down.
Hispanics.
Black people got such a bad rap in the restaurant industry. This used to drive me nuts.
I would say them and certain Asians.
Yeah. In the restaurant industry, black people got the worst rap for customers. Meanwhile, I made so much money with them. So much. You give them good service, you treat them like human beings, you're making money.
A lot of times they're some of the coolest tables.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Old school Mexican people
Hispanics
are like, fuck you.
They are cheaper than any Jew you've ever heard of in your entire life. They're so cheap.
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable. And they run you too. They make you do like 900,000 things. They work you like a fucking dog, and they don't leave you a dime. And then they thank you and smile in your face. And they know better. Dude, they know better.
And everything has to be spicy. I'm like, all right, here's your fucking grilled chicken breast Caesar salad. Anything else? Jalapeno. And I gotta go down.
I get a vanilla milkshake.
Jalapeno.
Add jalapeno.
Jalapeno. Happy birthday to you. Anything else? I was like, jalapeno. And I got a fucking jalapeno.
They have a jalapeno.
Dude, everything has to be spicy. And dude, I'm sitting, and the worst part is, I'm sitting back there, I'm cutting them up, No, I'm not getting a fucking dime for this, dude. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
And it's always like a family of like 47.
Yeah.
Like that table, you could have made so much money off of if anyone else was sitting there. But this is all industry internal like jargon and shit. So let's move on to our first story.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, ladies and gentlemen.
The crime of the century, and I assure you, it wasn't committed by him.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it for 1 second. He literally called that he was going to be arrested. We've all seen the pattern. It's like what he's saying is like, even that groundbreaking at this point. But he literally called that he was going to be arrested. He's on his second life. They arrested him for nonsense. I don't believe a fucking word of it. Tate the Great. Free Tate. Yeah. Free Andrew Tate.
Top G.
Andrew Tate, look us up when you get out, man. We're on your side 100%. We'll add our voices to yours, man. Yep. It's ridiculous.
It's sad. It's like,
Who even believes this shit at this point in time?
Well, we got modern day freedom fighters, and it's a little different now. It's not so much how you're being treated rather than you're being programmed. And it's basically Andrew Tate. What he's doing is that it's okay to be a strong man. Yeah. Why is that an unpopular
All
opinion?
He's doing is offering a counter narrative to the one that's being pushed like a fucking constant.
And I assure you, it's being pushed.
100% is being pushed.
Well, why is everybody so blind to it? I mean, not everybody, I get it, but what I'm saying is you got these modern day freedom fighters, like I said, and they're controversial rather than idolized.
100%.
And he's human trafficking?
Listen,
human fucking trafficking? Why would he's rich?
That's
Why
what I was
would
going to say. If you're like a cartel or you're running some kind of underground illegal operation, the last thing you want is the attention of the entire world. If that's where he was making his money and that was his primary business and he really was that evil guy doing those things, the last thing on earth that he would want is to be famous. And especially to be famous and controversial and giving them an excuse to attack him and to come after him. If he was really doing these things, and listen, love him, hate him, whatever you want to say, but nobody can say that this man is an idiot. He is not a stupid person. No, not by a fucking country mile is he a dumb person.
Not.
You think that he wouldn't have the presence of mind to understand that what he's doing would be a threat to him and his freedom? Come out here all calm and speak on every different podcast and radio show on the planet. Take all the heat from the powers that be. Come against the current system and all that bullshit. Well, he's doing that on the back end. There's no way. Yeah. If anything, he would play ball with them so he can get their protection and get them to turn a blind eye. Like Jeffrey Epstein, for instance.
Absolutely. Well, no, there's
how many podcasts was Epstein on?
None. Because if you're doing evil shit like that, I think the point is to keep a low profile.
And people just buy it, hook, line, and sinker. But just because you don't like him, like keep a level head at the very least. Let's be rational. I mean, this is pretty obvious. It's a coordinated effort and a coordinated attack.
And the narrative they push before we started this show today, we were reading up, we're doing our homework and whatnot. And one of the first lines was misogynistic.
And why put that in the headline? Why? What does that have to do with the actual case?
For what?
Andrew Tate got arrested.
Sure.
Why do you have to add a moniker to it, like a negative moniker to push the agenda of this is what we want you to perceive him as?
Because when you read it, they want you to go, oh, there he is.
Fuck him, lock him up forever.
The bad guy, yeah.
Yes, the bad guy. Exactly.
It's bad.
So you go night to the bad guy.
Yeah, but I mean, they first they silence. And then they destroy.
Well, also what makes me nervous is because this is kind of the MO. Like they have you arrested on whatever false charges, but that's designed to isolate you so they could murder you. John McAfee, R.I.P. That man was not murdered either. He literally said like 6 months before they whacked him that he was getting death threats from the government. And they're like, oh, he's just paranoid. He tattooed on his arm #whacked. 6 months later, he's in a Belize prison. They got him isolated. Yeah. And he fucking died and they labeled it a suicide. The very thing he said he wouldn't do. And now Andrew's going through something similar. He's already stated that he would never kill himself. I'm looking at this guy in his eyes. He's telling the truth. He's not. If this guy turns up dead, we actually need to start talking about this. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Free Andrew Tate. Yeah. Top G.
His freedom. Now that they've already taken that away, his freedom's at stake, but his life is too.
Meanwhile, we got what was it, Brittany Renner or Brittany Renner? What's her name? What's the one we traded?
Oh, good God. We traded the merchant. Dude, if you have a name like the Merchant of Death, we probably should be like, exactly.
We freed the Merchant of Death, but not Top G Andrew Tate, who's telling kids to be self-possessed, don't subscribe to being weak, don't just say that you're just depressed and there's nothing you can do about it. Take control of your life, put maximum effort in, try your hardest. Yeah. Oh, he's a misogynist, he's this and he's that. No, what he is intelligent. Andrew Tate understands that by casting that controversial figure, he's going to get a lot of attention. And by flaunting his cars and flaunting his lifestyle and talking the way he does, he gets the attention of the male youth, which is what he wants. he's only using that to draw attention. It's a character, just like a professional wrestler, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
Once he has the attention, what he's really telling these kids are good, valuable life lessons. He's teaching them inner strength. He's teaching them to think for themselves, question everything, make sure it comes from you, have conviction, have purpose, work hard, don't be a fucking loser. He says it in inflammatory ways, but that's merely to be inflammatory and to be entertaining, so he can get that attention. If he was just calm and just talking like a nice guy saying these things, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would listen. Nobody would listen.
And they're just demonizing masculinity. Yeah. And it's this full-scale attack on masculinity. It's not okay to be a man anymore. Television, movies, music, everything like that. That's fucking nuts.
That's why we were talking about like all men nowadays look like lesbian women.
Dude, it's odd.
It's hilarious.
Well, you know,
they all wear flannel, like black frame glasses, and they all have like Play-Doh bodies, and they're hunched over and shit.
Just an army of San Franciscoans walking down the fucking street. Question: can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
My mic's okay?
Talk.
Check.
Yeah, man, you sound good to me.
All right, you know, if you hear me, I hear me, right?
Well, maybe your headset's just a little off.
Or maybe I just hate the way I sound.
You want to fix your levels live on camera? Whoa.
No, but yeah, man, it's really sad. It's really bullshit. Terrible what they're doing.
It's bullshit.
It's so fucking obvious to those not brainwashed, and man, I mean, our prayers and our hopes go out to him. It's not okay. Human fucking trafficking. You know what's funny is that when he was off Twitter and he was off YouTube, they took him off all these platforms. Now that he got his Twitter back, now they got that Musk back, and they reopened his Twitter, they're like, okay, this guy's dangerous again. So what are we going to do? What's the next logical step? By the way, one of the girls is playing ball. One of the fucking girls is playing ball. And please tell me, when you were being chained to the wall, which they didn't find you in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Why? What? You know, when couldn't you walk out the front door? Please tell me. When he's flying all over the fucking country.
And Shiraz, it would only be one girl, just one girl, dude.
Epic.
Do you think that like if this was true, there'd be multiple victims, and they would be chomping at the bit to come out and get the man that disenfranchised them this way? Wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
All you would want is vengeance and justice. That's the only thing you would want in this world.
One girl. And I'm sorry, but
one broke girl who's going to try to make a couple of bucks off this and doesn't give a shit what happens to society or this good man.
And getting girls with fame is nothing. Getting girls to do anything with the level of fame Andrew Tate has, he would never need that to hold them against their will. I'm sorry.
No,
he would never.
We were talking about this yesterday. It was the same thing like when Mike Tyson got accused of rape, and this might be a little controversial, but I don't believe he did it.
No.
That man was rich, famous. He could have got any girl he basically wanted. And I remember when they did that interview with him, and he lost his mind. He's like, I should have fucking raped that bitch. Like, that anger and that statement comes from an innocent man. Yeah. That's what that is. That's an innocent man who knows he's going to serve the time. A guy who just did 4 years for raping a girl that he was dating. Who they had Robin Gibbons. They had consensual sex nightly, but on the time that she wasn't, on the time that apparently she was done, and that they were done, and they were on their way out. Yeah, Robin Gibbons. They were on their way out. It was rape. Outrageous. No, crazy. If you're a girl, you could just make any audacious claim that you want. It's treated like it's a gospel truth. And then the guy just has to take it on the chin, get locked up, lose his life, his credibility. Even if you get exonerated, there's still that dark cloud. It's like, if someone calls you like a child molester or a pedophile or something like this, even if it comes out that it's not true or that you're not, just the accusation alone just sticks to you and tarnishes your reputation for all of eternity. That is evil. That's insidious. No one deserves that shit. You better be damn sure that it's true.
Do you know how dangerous the ideology of believe all women is? Do you know how dangerous that is? It's just as dangerous as the ideology of believe all men.
Right.
You don't.
That's too much power.
Exactly. You need proof. You need some type of logical, setting that says, I was here, they were there, this was wrong.
That's why it's called due process. And don't get case basis.
Absolutely.
Let's sit through the details and find out what the truth is.
We have an imperfect justice system, but it's about as good as it gets. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it is.
I don't know, man. I haven't been to a lot of countries.
Well, maybe not lately. Maybe not lately.
It's
You're right.
Better than Tijuana, but.
Well, you go to Pakistan.
Where they rob you and
I mean,
shoot you in the kneecap with a sawed-off shotgun.
Or you get your hand fucking cut off for stealing an apple like you're fucking Aladdin or something. Flying by on a magic carpet, you fucking push up your bloody nub while you're flying by, and the little monkey's just looking at you like, what the fuck does that? Abu's just like...
At least they wait for you to finish the apple. Like, was that good?
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
As the guard's cutting down with that shimtar across his fucking wrist, and he goes... Allah! Alibaba. Fucking Alibaba.
That's the only country where an apple a day doesn't keep the doctor away. You need a doctor immediately after the apple.
Could you imagine a modern Alibaba, like all the royal princes that are just fucking warlords coming out of that horrible place?
Aladdin from The Dictator.
Alibaba.
He's got this solid gold Cadillac. But yeah, so you know, Andrew Tate. I don't think he's guilty. I know a lot of people are going to probably be mad at me and not want to watch the show after this. But hey, that's just my truthful opinion.
If you believe he's guilty,
look, if we've
come up with some type of evidence. Yeah. Maybe like the first time he was arrested for this already, and it was total bullshit.
It's suspicious. He just attacked Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is.
Oh, that fucking...
Yeah, and like obviously the woke left has been after him for a very, very long time. It's been abundantly clear, the deplatforming, all this bullshit, and then this happens right afterwards. The timing is suspicious. Everything around it just stinks. It's all fishy, man. It's weird.
That's my crush, man.
Yeah?
Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg. Save the dolphins. Save the clouds. Save the earth. Let me in.
God bless Greta.
God bless Greta.
Greta Thunberg.
Nah, she's actually like Icelandic or some weird Slovakian.
Didn't you say that you wanted to bang her?
Yeah. She
looks like a fucking amoeba.
Yeah.
She has like translucent
skin.
skin.
Sometimes I know that soulless eyes just looking back. I go, I love you. And she go...
The 1,000-yard
as she's doing math problems in her head. I love her. I'm telling you.
All right, so explain her to me, because I don't follow the news or politics very much.
Okay,
so I'm kind of like not wired in. So
here's how it goes. She's polarizing. She's polarizing. She was like 16. She got up. Her parents are both active climate crusaders, whatever they want to call it. They're big on save the planet.
Save the cheerleader.
What do they call this?
Save the world.
The environmentalists. They're big time.
Environmentalists.
Extremist environmentalists, whatever. They're big time though. They got lots of money, and that's what it is. So she gets up and does some press conference, and it was fucking some teenage thing, and she was really captivating. She got up there and with a lot of emotion. She said, you could tell. And we used to applaud because she was retarded, and you go, wow, you know what? Whether you agree with the message or not, she got up there and she gave it all.
Right.
Now, because...
Is she actually retarded?
She's autistic. But now, I mean, come on, man, Asperger's? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. A lot of the greatest people ever had Asperger's. Elon Musk, shout out.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's levels.
I'm pretty sure he's got a level of that. Yeah, there's levels.
All right. You're either Elon Musk creating new companies, or you can't talk.
So you never go full retard.
You never go,
but simple Jack.
And we're trying to. It's not retard. Autism isn't retarded, but what we're saying is she has mental issues that she overcame, and she did. But the problem is that now she has a cult following, and I'm not talking about some people that agree with the message, so they're like kind of with it. I'm talking about a cult following that will go to bat for her. She gets into it.
She's got like minions.
Yeah, she gets into it with Andrew Tate. She says, she has some comeback that I'm almost positive her handlers wrote for her. Where the fuck is Greta Thunberg going to come up with some sick burn, man? Sick burn. Small dick energy at getalife.org or whatever the fuck she said.
Ooh.
If she typed it, it would have been like FFJJPKM.
He won't even get
02
until he lands from his private jet.
Yeah, what the fuck does he care? You know what? I want to do. Now you got it, right? That's for just typing weird messages like backwards. All the words are backwards. I mean, and people are, but you know what? One of her, so here's how deep it goes. One of her followers saw the pizza box that Andrew Tate's. Now, he said he didn't have to worry about anything. Great, he didn't have to worry about it. But they got him swatted again. One of her followers saw the pizza box, knew he was in Romania, contacted Romanian officials, said that he had girls captive. Where there's bad luck, there's opportunity. One of the girls is probably going to line her pockets with a lot of money to say, this guy's evil.
There's no doubt.
They'll demonize him. They'll shut him down. You can't talk about him anymore. They'll offer him...
won't hear both sides. You'll just hear the side that they push, and they'll silence the other side.
Absolutely. They're going to offer him freedom, or they're going to offer him...
They're augmenting reality.
Yeah. or they're gonna offer him to play ball with them. And it's like, dude, you hang 30 years into a motherfucker, and I know Andrew Tate's a real one. We know Andrew Tate's a real one.
100%.
But you hang 30 years in front of anybody who has a pretty good fucking life as it sits right now, and you dangle 30 years in front of him. I'm sorry, dude. Not just as a man or a human or anything, just as whatever you are, you're not looking to fucking test that. So,
I don't know, man. I think he'd go and standing up quite honestly.
If he does, then he's even better than I think he is.
I think he is that guy. I honestly believe that. So, I think it'll go one of two ways. Either they're going to try to push him into a corner that way, so he takes a plea deal, so he's labeled as a felon under these charges, so it makes him look bad forever. Like, well, he pled guilty to X, X, and X. But that's just so he didn't do 100 years in jail, like you're saying. It has nothing to do.
He didn't plead guilty to XXX. Like he didn't fuck them girls. No, but you're right. Exactly, Freudian slip.
either that, or they're just trying to lock him up so they can isolate him, so they can whack him, like we talked about before. Which I would not be surprised if at this point in time anything is possible.
How they're picking off those crypto kids in the most unusual ways. 30 years old, he doesn't wake up. One dies in a helicopter crash a week later. I mean, dude, like, why? Dude, you know what's fucking crazy? It's like, now you got full-fledged documentaries on the JFK assassin that makes so much sense, and you look at those doctored photos of Lee Harvey Oswald and everything, and you're like, oh my god, it was a setup, it was and back then you say the same thing we're saying now. You're a conspiracy theorist, you're fucking crazy, you're not American, you're a communist, how fucking dare you.
Meanwhile, they were like right the entire time.
and so can't we just all agree now that there's an evil force controlling things?
I think
we're losing.
You know what, dude? I think more people than not understand this and see this in general. But just like it's been for the last decade or so, it's the very vocal minority that gets promoted and pushed to the top. And the mass of us, the large mass of us that exists out there, we don't have as much of a platform or as much of a voice. The mainstream media is being controlled by the other side more than not.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of what gets pushed to the top. That's all. That's all it is. Let me put it this way. Like, we're not famous, obviously. We don't have a lot of subscribers or a lot of time on YouTube. I can make 800,000 quality videos, and you might not see any of them. But if Logan Paul puts out one, everyone's going to see it because it's getting pushed to the top of the algorithm. And it's a mediocre example, but you get the point, right?
No, but...
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, but can I tell you where I disagree?
Yeah, please.
All right. Fucking whatever Logan Paul wants to say, fine. He can pretty much jump on any train. How the pushback he gets, fine. But I'm telling you this right now. The minority, we are the minority, the ones who are willing to say anything. I think Americans live good.
When you say,
and I don't think that,
before you finish that point, just so I have clarity, because I'm getting off track.
Yeah.
When you say that we are the minority, do you mean that there's less of us in existence that feel and think this way, are you saying that there's less that speak up?
Both. The ones that are willing, the ones that think a certain way, the ones that are willing to ask questions, the ones that are willing to give any pushback. I think that's the minority. I think people that takes Build-A-Bear serious. I think people that are at the mall 3 times a week with their family, I think they live good. I think it's a very comfortable lifestyle. But I think that I think you're taking the little bit they give you, and it's a lot more than a lot of people, and people are just okay with it. I think Americans are being just dumbed down not to ask any questions. I think
everyone's afraid to speak up.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that there's less of us. It means that less of us are opening our mouths.
But it's like...
I think a lot more of us are starting to feel this way, and I think a lot of people are coming back over to this side. The pendulum is swinging the other direction. I mean, it might be more comfortable to shut the fuck up for a while until you have a social credit score and they cancel your bank account and take your car and you can't spend your money. That's where it's heading, man. That's where it's heading.
Not anything political, right?
Okay.
All right. No, nothing political, right? But on the surface... You ever see a candidate that you can't fucking believe anybody would fucking vote for them?
Joe Biden?
And they win?
You mean the guy we have in office right now?
Yeah. That means that people, whether you think it got, the election was stolen, whatever, you think, whatever you think, wherever you're leaning on that, people got up that morning and went out and voted for somebody with dementia with a smile on their face and back him up every single way. And I'm not saying you won. I'm just saying there's
wrong,
a lot
of... Like, I don't have a counter.
There's a lot of people out there that are just...
How do you just do that?
Impervious to anything that's like their own self-thought. And I'm telling you, once again, it's good being an American.
Right.
But you can't shit in the cat box and not clean it up for the next guy. It's not okay. You know what I mean? So people are just like, okay, they're just okay. It's like, all right, well, our lives are pretty okay. You know, we know things are fucked up, but hey, what the heck? You know what I mean? Eventually, the only thing that's going to work at this point is you dismantle the machine. Because whatever they're doing in Romania, it's definitely U.S. driven. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, Andrew Tate is big in America, which Andrew Tate controls the world.
He's actually, his primary base of operations is actually in the UK. I was going to ask you, you might know the answer to this question. I don't think he was trying to hide the fact that he was in Romania. So, like, the way that they talk about it in the tabloids was like, oh, because he fucked up and had the pizza box, that's how they caught him.
Yeah.
But he talks about living in Romania and being in Romania, and that's, like, one of his hometowns all the time.
No, but
I don't think he was trying to, like, not get found.
Absolutely.
They're painting it like he was, like...
Exactly.
Like, he knew he was guilty and was trying to hide himself from the authorities, and he got caught by blah, blah, blah. I don't think he was even trying to hide being there. I think they're using that to paint the picture that he's guilty.
Exactly. They're using the term tipped off, but what they're not explaining is that tipped off meant one of the people that don't like him saw the box and knew he was in Romania. And they contacted the authorities.
I haven't looked into this. For all I know, the Romanian authorities have been after him for all this time, and he really was there secretly and was not trying to be known. It doesn't make sense to me, but like I said, I haven't actually looked too much into that. But I don't think that was the case.
He's not on the run. He's not some fucking.
He doesn't have a criminal record.
No.
The last time they picked him up for this, he was exonerated and sent out.
He was out hours later.
24 hours or something like that. Yeah. So I mean, like.
Now he's got 30 days.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was trying to hide the fact that he was in Romania.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
So if that is true, then it is bizarre that they're trying to paint it that way, like they caught him there and he didn't want to be
like he's some fucking fugitive or something, which is just not the case. Yeah. It's a lie. And once it's a narrative, but man, it's like these days, it's like, don't you just put your hands up and go, well, another bullshit story.
No.
There we go.
No, we don't. That's why we're having this conversation right now. More people need to do this. Yeah. It needs to be talked about. Win, lose, or draw, whether you agree or disagree, there needs to be discourse in every capacity. It needs to be an open market of free thought and free speech, the way it always was meant to be, the thing that made America great in the first point. That's what innovation is, and that's what evolution is. That's what evolvement and advancement is. As soon as any one demographic, even if, like, let's just say that you can guarantee that, like, there's, like, a mystical, like, supernatural person that just has all the world's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and they're actually right about absolutely everything, but we don't know it, but they do. That entity should still allow all of us to have every conversation so we can work things out and we can evolve and get to that point ourselves. You can't tell someone to be enlightened right out of the gate. It requires due process. When you take away due process, you have a bastardization of the form of thought and involvement in development. It's just wrong. It's wrong. You never control speech or thought ever. We work it out amongst ourselves. It's not the government's job to tell people what they should and shouldn't think or say.
Yeah, raise your fucking kids to think. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I mean, you got this assembly line school system, dude. Honestly, the school system it's literally built to where you either can get with the program or you can't. So that's why we have the highest dropout and failure rate in the fucking world, and it looks bad and it looks grim and stuff like that.
Why do you think all of art and music is shit now? Because they sterilize it to, you have to think this way, you have to believe this way, you have to feel this way.
No creativity.
So now you're creating the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again, and it's old, it's exhausted, it's pale, it's timid, and it's boring.
Yeah.
You need color in the world, and with color comes diversity. You need diversity of thought, diversity of speech, diversity of action. You need diversity across the board. And the laws are there for misbehavior. Don't kill anybody. Don't rape anybody. Don't steal. Yeah. Outside of that, you can hold whatever fucking opinion you want. And if someone doesn't like it, they can call you an asshole and walk away. But it's not your job to not speak your mind or not think or feel how you think and feel. How are you supposed to change if you don't ever express yourself?
Well, they're also changing the arts. They're so crippled creatively that they're changing arts. Do you know that they did a play? It was Romeo and Romeo in one of the schools. So now you're taking Shakespeare, and because nobody will buy your own shit because you suck, and nobody's gonna write a play.
Nobody wants to see Romeo and Romeo.
Dude,
nobody.
And how does that even work? And it wasn't a love story. It was the Montagues, the Capulets, and it wasn't the love that was the story. Mm-hmm. It was the conditions of two people in love. But it was, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, you just struck a chord. Can I make this point?
Please.
All right, so the reason why that they have to package it in timeless classics that we love, we kind of talked about this a little bit in the first episode, but it's a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
It's because on its own legs. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody will watch it. So they have to package it as Romeo and Juliet, which is a timeless classic, a masterpiece.
Yep.
It already has what's the word, like accolades. It already has a high esteem.
Flair. Everybody wants it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already considered good.
It's a wonderful
story. And then they
story.
change it. But like, how about you just make whatever Romeo and Romeo, just call it something else and don't tie it to Shakespeare and make it its own thing entirely. And if it's good, it'll be good. And if it's not, it won't. No, but you can't just ride on the coattails of other good work.
They've been failing for a few years now. So that's why every movie is a reboot, and they'll just gender swap, race swap, put it in production, go. There's no because now they don't need the creativity since they're completely bankrupt on creativity.
Right.
They're like, all right, well, this story's already written, but we could still get our message across.
Right.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Taking things people love, and that's why everything's just failing. It's everything's going. Could you imagine Romeo coming in and going, Romeo, we're out there, and just fucking unzips his zipper, and some dude just comes in and is like, I'm right here. Here's some ASMR for you.
He's holding the skull while he's doing it.
His fucking ass like at him. Fucking dude, and you know what, honestly, and that's how two men would be. It wouldn't. I assure you, it wouldn't.
It's not pretty, folks.
Dude, gay men
it's not romantic.
Exactly. Gay men
animals.
are. Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't be real nice and everything like that. It would be at the party. The party scene would end right there. They'd be fucking for the next with no rubber even back then. They'd be fucking for the next 48 hours. The Montagues would come in and go, "Come on, it smells like shit in here. Let's get out of here." That'd be the story. End of story. Thanks, Bill Shakespeare. You did great, Finn. But yeah, they put their spin on it. It sucks. It's just really weird. And me and you, you brought it up initially, but you're talking about the pendulum swinging. Man, I am gonna be on that motherfucker flying.
Yeah, we swung too far in the other direction, and now it needs to come back and correct and balance a little bit. Obviously, like our grandparents' generation, even my parents' generation to a degree was crazy intolerant. There obviously was homophobia.
Yes.
There was more racism, and we all see that. Like, I'm not denying that at all. But that doesn't mean that the correct thing is to go exactly the opposite direction, 1,000 degrees in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a balance. And there is no such thing as there's toxic people. There's no toxic masculinity. Like, we got to get rid of these buzzwords and these container words because we try to fit everything into a box, and it doesn't fit every possible degree on the spectrum. There's a spectrum of everything that exists, and every degree of everything does exist. And so we gotta stop with these like prepackaged words. It's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
And I've seen it go too far the other way. I remember Tipper Gore in the ~90s with the parental advisor stickers on all the CDs and them cutting it up. Tipper Gore, he was Al Gore's wife. They did the parental advisor stickers on the CDs, and they were changing and they were telling them they couldn't play Here It Is. They were what do you call that when you don't allow it? They were censoring everything, and it was art, and they were censoring people's art, and that's exactly what they're doing now. But back then, I didn't agree with it. Right. But now, again, now it's like, okay, now you're okay with not putting parental advice sticker, but now you've gone way off the deep end. Now you're showing cocks to kids in elementary. It's fucking weird.
Right.
It's weird. Stop. Now we're going too far.
By making everything a blanket responsibility, or like making like society like we can't show this because it's going to reach the wrong ears, yada yada. We're offloading personal accountability and personal responsibility. We're saying that there should be a system in place to protect everyone from X, Y, and Z, instead of us taking responsibility for our own actions and our own kids and our own thoughts and behaviors and the people in our lives. We're saying, hey, government, make a rule for this so no one can have access to X.
Yeah.
But that makes our minds weaker, man. It makes us weaker emotionally. It makes us weaker mentally. It makes us even weaker physically.
Yeah.
If you don't have a strong mind, your body's not as strong either. You need a mind-body connection, if you will.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have a lot of cognitive dissonance because people have these things and have these thoughts, and there's all this guilt and shame assigned to thinking or feeling a certain way, and then you can't even talk about it, so then you repress it, then it splits off and gets deep-seated at your core, and it creates misbehavior, it creates school shootings, it creates outbursts, it creates acts of violence. A lot of things come with this that people don't realize.
I think the school shootings are just meds. I mean, that they always try to put a connection. Now,
you mean because everyone's on Adderall, or
I'm gonna say Xanax and what is the other one for the antidepressant? Zoloft and all that.
Zoloft.
But you know what? At first, it was a white kid thing. White kids coming in, coming down the fucking aisle with that fucking 30-06 blowing their fucking gal.
I thought it was still a white
You got Dylan Roof. No, man. But dude, the last two major ones have been two black guys. So it's not a race thing. There's a connection. The one connection
that just tells me that the issue is getting worse.
Yes, and it's
permeating into cultures that didn't even do this
shit. But what do? You follow a pattern. And the one pattern is these kids are fucking like Pez dispensers. They open their neck and every morning it's like, here you go. You know what? Granted, it's like any drugs that they tried to stick me on as a kid. Mm-hmm. Now I just take recreationally. But my mom was like, no. My mom's like, no. He has a little. I mean, look at me. I'm a fucking nut job. But he has a little extra energy, and I'm sorry, you took the job. Like, you're gonna have to do this. And I get it. If kids are running around like crazy and stuff like that. But how about this? How about stop fucking giving, people that don't work so much money?
Yes.
Pushing over some of these teachers, hire more, make the job a little bit more enticing.
But also
and put some money into it.
100%. That's absolutely a necessity. That's essential. Yes. But also, how about we make the drugs and all that shit not the first resort, but the last resort? It shouldn't be our go-to right out of the gate. Oh, he's a little hyper. Throw this pill down your gullet.
Boom.
How about you learn how to work with it? You learn how to channel that energy. Maybe you grow up in your energy. Like for me, as you can tell, I'm an intense, pretty energetic guy in general. You can times this by 1,000 when I was a kid growing up. I was a lunatic. I don't have ADHD. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just a high energy guy.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit like 32 or so, my energy changed dramatically. I calmed down. I became more focused. I got a lot easier. I'm not as finicky. I'm not all over the place like I used to be the same way. Mm-hmm. And that just came with age. Some people are calm. Some people are high strung. Some people are wired to be stressed. Some people are wired to be easygoing. Some
Makes
people
the world go round.
Some people are short. Some people are tall. Some people are good at athletics. Like there's differences in our personalities and in our physical abilities, our mental abilities, and our temperaments and demeanors, and that's always been the case since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And you need everybody to exist so we get different things done.
Yeah.
If you don't have, if Nikola Tesla was born today, we would never have all the electricity that we have because he was a weird fucking guy.
Yeah.
And they would have seen that he was weird and he was a little off, and they would have drugged him into nothingness.
That teacher would have took that paddle, whacked it right over his little fucking head, and
went,
stop playing with those coils.
Thank you. Exactly.
What are you talking about, energy, dickhead?
Yeah.
And just bam!
And when you have a mind like that, it's going to think differently than conventional wisdom would say is correct or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? You got to let that go.
I'll be honest with you. The medication's more damaging than the paddle. How about that?
Oh, there's no doubt.
How about that?
Beat him up.
You know what?
You gotta stick him with the jab.
Exactly. I'll tell you what. You spank that kid's ass with a wooden paddle one time, I guarantee he shuts the fuck up at school, but he keeps his energy and keeps his creativity and stuff like that.
Face.
Boy,
with that wooden paddle.
Dude, oh man. I'm sorry, man, but I'd feel like the man just coming down with a fucking paddle right across a kid's skull.
All right, so like to our end here, our point. This is what you get when you eschew conventional discipline and teaching methods. Let's bring up the transgender fella who thinks that he's having a period.
Transgenders now, I mean, because everything has
to... Do you want to watch that?
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Pull that shit up, baby, yeah.
All right, this is a special treat here.
Yeah.
So there's this transgender fella who claims that he's having a period. Give me a sec here, sorry.
He's got cramps. Whoa, where we going?
You always do it.
No, he claims he has cramps. He's walking around the house and he's all upset.
He's clearly faking it.
By the way, we're not polite to the pronouns. I'm gonna call it how I see it. And I guess these kids are sticking
trans woman. I say this fucking guy.
Yeah, this dude, chick with a dick. Why is chick with a dick so fucking? Yeah, it's so mean now. I don't get it.
Let's watch this for a sec here. This is what we're up against, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why? Stop.
He's literally smiling. I've never seen a girl smile in this situation.
Here's the biggest shit.
I swear to God, if anyone says welcome to womanhood, I'm gonna lose my shit.
First off, exactly.
We don't want to hear his thoughts. We want to hear our thoughts.
And who the fuck would tell him welcome to womanhood? What the fuck would that even mean?
Look at him smiling. Look at his face.
Oh,
why?
My balls are killing me.
Why?
Oh.
Back to Silence of the Lambs. All trannies sound like Buffalo Bill to me. Oh, why?
You want to use my phone?
Why? Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, you're about a size 14. Oh, I can't move this couch. I'm crazy.
But so yeah, not only that, and to make it a little more realer, if things couldn't get weirder, they're taking frozen V8 popsicles, shoving them up their ass, letting them melt in their ass onto a pad that they're wearing, and they're going, oh, the blood.
Are you being serious?
I'm dead serious. Well, you think I'm joking about that?
No.
No. Listen, the more outrageous it sounds, probably the truer it is.
Wait. So you get a V8 because it's red.
You pound that motherfucker right up your ass.
And you freeze it in a popsicle.
Yeah.
And then you shove it up your ass so it melts.
Yep.
And then you let it trickle out and you pretend that it's blood.
And then you pull down your panties, you move your fucking cock out of the way, and you go...
But do you have to like stick your ass in the air so it runs forward? Because periods aren't ass blood. Like you don't bleed from your ass.
But
Do you, ladies? I don't think you do.
When a guy nuts in my ass, it'll leak down to my balls. When? Oh, I mean, if a guy ever nutted. No, but I mean, you know how your ass is at an angle, so if and it's real close to your balls, so. If it builds up down there, it's gonna set on your balls, and then if you pull the maxi pad out, because you think the pussy's only so far, you got about like an inch difference between the asshole and the pussy. That's why you feel your fingers through it. But so when it melts, it's gonna be in the same spot.
I like how you're teaching this to me like it's a health ed class. Like,
two in the pink, one in the fucking stand.
So kids, so the fucking asshole is close to the pussy, right?
And
as you can see by my PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. So you got your piss pouch and you got your shit box. you got your fudge maker and your lemonade taker. No, but say that's what they do, and they go, oh, I got a period. This one smells like fucking fruit and vegetable.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I'm about a size 14. Nah, but it's like, dude, it's like, and you know what? Honestly, playing make-believe, you used to go, all right, guys, put the broomsticks down. You're not flying. Put the cardboard away. You put the cardboard box away. You're not in a rocket ship. Let's get ready for bed. Now it's like, oh, you are bleeding, Brittany.
Yeah, you have to play make-believe back with them.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Oh, well,
they try to make
according to the world, you know. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Look, you know what? This is the thing. I'm not a piece of shit for calling this out. I feel bad for this kid.
Yeah.
This kid's had his mind so twisted and manipulated and poisoned that he's doing shit like this in front of all of society on the internet, basically on TV. And there's no shame. And this kid's going to be fucked up for the rest of his life. He's going to be overcoming this because his parents don't have the balls to check him and correct him and take this poisonous dog shit out of his mind.
So his dad doesn't have the balls.
I'm going to make fun of him because it's funny and we got it, right?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I feel genuinely bad for this person. It's not cool, man.
But you
don't applaud him and tell him it's brave.
No, absolutely. And you know what? Honestly, and when it comes down to it, I promise you, if we all play along, it's not helping them anyway. It's not helping them anyway. Right. The whole world can play along and say, you are a girl.
What, so they could pat me on the back and say, oh, you're doing the right thing by perpetuating this fucking stigma that we've created. Meanwhile, innocent kids and innocent people are getting mentally destroyed and ruined for life. Why? So I can get a pat on the back so you can tell me good boy? No, I don't agree with it.
I can tell you this. We were wrong. The world was wrong, and it was about...
Nope. First cut. That's not bad.
No, God, no. It looks great, too. 25 minutes, too. Wait, 42 minutes?
Where do you see? Yeah, was it? Actually, hold on. I think we're still recording. Oh, sorry, we thought that the video cut out, but it was actually just another program that clicked in real fast.
And I looked all stupid.
It's an update. Okay, yeah, we're good. So you were saying, I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, where was I at?
42 minutes?
42 minutes? No.
Whoa.
Yeah, as you can see, this hasn't been an easy road.
Oh, we've been going through it.
Yeah.
This is episode 2, episode 4. We've shot 2 first episodes and 2 second episodes just because of tech issues.
Last night was gold. We had
that episode.
Dude, we had an episode that I'm telling you this right now was fucking amazing, and it's okay. Because you know what it is now to us, it's just a good memory. It's one for the books.
Lost episodes.
The lost episodes, where we started, where we came from. What we know we got is we got a good product. We know we could sell this.
Yeah, we'll get better and better, but just it was sad to lose that episode though. There was some gold content in there, man. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Let's focus on this one.
To the DJ B.
I wish we did that old school radio horse shit.
Oh man, it was the best, dude. Now there's
welcome to Nick and Billy the morning zoo.
No, but there's no fun. There's no fun anymore. You can't do it.
You have to do like silly voices all the time.
Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? To get on there and do some.
I just flew in from New England and boy, are my arms tired.
Yeah.
There's just sound
That's
effects.
like a sound effects.
All right, so we're talking about tranny shit. All right, that's over.
Tranny shit? No, it's popsicle.
Sorry.
It's just a popsicle.
All right, and so onwards. What were we talking about? We were talking about pronouns yesterday. We covered that. That was good.
No,
we lost that episode. But
wait a minute.
What's next on the docket?
Can you take that in-shape arm of yours and pass me that beautiful phone?
Yes.
All right. I'll tell you what. So let's jump on to another story today. Okay, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
The new year. I wanted to talk to you about this. I wanted to know what you think about how we're going to be on gas. I wanted to talk to you about what do you think? Gas. I think I mean it just household financial security. How are we going to be?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to want to hear this. The new year looks very bleak for financial wealth and health in general.
Surprise!
Oh, yeah. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to lay this out in a very clear, comprehensive way. So everyone knows that over the last couple of years since 2020, inflation has gone up at a breakneck clip. They reported it like 7 to 12%. It's really more along the lines of like 30, 40% in reality. What they do when they measure the CPI is they take a basket of goods that are supposed to represent the greater whole economy, and they measure that and say that it's only been up this amount or that amount. But what they're doing is they're changing the CPI and rotating different products out. And they're picking the ones that have the least inflation and saying that basically like assimilates the entire across the board inflation numbers, which is not true. So that's a very manipulated metric. So as you know, everything's more expensive. Your buying power hasn't increased much, but the amount that things cost has increased dramatically, meaning that you have a higher level of poverty. So if you have $40,000 and prices go up 20%.
You're looking about 20, 30. Right?
Yeah, your buying power has 20% less effect. So it's not about the exact number of money that you make, it's about what it can buy. And a lot of people don't understand this. So the reason why we all agree that things have gone up dramatically, the reason why things have gone up so much is because of inflation, which is the printing of money. Inflation is there's price inflation and there's currency inflation. And there's this grand argument amongst economists about which one is which and which one is the actual culprit as to what's going on today. But the truth is, all inflation is an inflation of the money supply. The creation of currency is what creates inflation. That's why we've seen this happen, is because, so basically, when they started printing all that money when we closed down, so there was like a couple of $1 trillion that was printed, all that new currency circulates back into the real world economy where there's goods and services. But there's the same amount of goods and services, but there's like 1.5 times more money chasing the same amount of goods and services. And that's what pushes prices up. So the reason why I'm saying that next year is going to look just as bad, if not worse, is because number one, the inflationary cycle, it takes a long time for that currency to actually cycle into the real economy, into the system, and manifest in the form of inflation. It actually takes months to years for that to fully happen. So even all the inflation that was created over the last couple of years has not fully hit the scales yet. So that's still happening. Now we just passed another $1.7 trillion bill on top of the Green New Deal, which was a sham in and of itself for
to give to fucking Ukraine for a war they can't win.
And the same principle applies. That new money that has been printed out of nowhere is going to eventually circulate back into the real world economy and contribute more to the upward inflationary pressures that we're already dealing with now. And unfortunately, we're not going to be making any more money. So
Zelensky just came in your face and didn't even hand you it.
Essentially. So everyone go, oh, the gas prices are going down, moderately.
Oh God, it's been down for a day, and fucking everybody's walking outside cheering and stuff. I just paid $6 fucking a gallon for the last how many months?
I'm gonna hook you up with a little bit of here's a little bit of good advice. So yeah, inflation's gonna get higher. Increasing the minimum wage is not the answer. You increase the minimum wage when inflation goes up, and basically you land in the same spot as when it was $8 an hour with lower prices. But now you're perpetuating the upward pressure on inflation because people are making more money. Therefore, it can't actually go back down to where it was because it needs to stay up because now people have more money than they used to have. And there's a lengthy explanation for all this. I promise you, this is accurate. You can look it up on your own terms. If you want to make some real money, and I feel bad for anyone who bought a house over the last couple of years because you're gonna have negative equity. It's gonna be upside down. It's gonna collapse soon enough. What you should do is you should stash as much money as you can away, and you don't want to leave it in a savings account. You want to put it in I would put it in TIPS, which is a Treasury inflation protected security, something like this, or something that has high dividends and high cash flow, like an oil pipeline stock, where you can actually make 7-8% on your money instead of it being 0.05% in a savings account. That way, And then what you want to do, you want to save this up, and you want to save as much as possible so you can have at least one down payment, if not a couple of down payments. Because in the next, I would say 1 to 2 years, over the next 1 to 2 years, the market's going to fall out of the bottom on the housing market. And so a lot of houses are going to go into foreclosure, and there's going to be a lot of short sales, and the prices are going to come down dramatically. And what you want to do is you want to wait for that collapse to happen. Then you want to, so the prices come down. Then you want to wait for the Fed to artificially put interest rates back down so it's a little bit cheaper to buy houses, and you want to buy right then. So that way you're on the other end of the market cycle. And this is exactly what rich people do. So stash that money away for 1 to 2 years. When the housing market collapses, you want to buy when there's blood in the streets. Warren Buffett has that great quote. It says, be greedy when everyone is fearful, and fearful when everyone is greedy. So right now, over the last couple of years, everyone's been greedy, and that was the time to be fearful and conservative. Over the next couple of years, everyone's going to be terrified when the market collapses, and then it's going to be time to be greedy. You want to buy when there's blood in the streets. The blood is coming. Save your money. Get ready for that. And if you do that one time, and you're even remotely around our age group, you can set shit in the seats. You can set yourself up for life off of that. So there you go.
Nick, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know you spoke Japanese.
I'm sorry. Every time I talk about this, I see those eyes glass over.
Dude,
I'm trying to put in like. Does it make sense though?
No.
None of it?
Dude, I love you to death. I didn't fucking get a word off of that. I didn't buy a house.
Well, this isn't a financial podcast, so.
I couldn't buy a dollhouse, let alone a real house right now.
Not a word of that. I could have seen you react. I was staring at the camera.
No, man. No. It was good, man. Listen, here's the thing. Somebody
just trying to help, ladies and gentlemen.
No, absolutely. You know what? I'm the issue. I'm the guy who puts his head in his hand.
They don't teach this shit in school, though. They don't want people to know this.
Dude, honestly, you shouldn't be learning algebra. You should be learning how to balance a checkbook, how to pay bills on time. You should be giving, that should be life skills.
You should learn algebra if you're going to school to be an engineer.
Yes, and that's about fucking
or an architect.
Dude. Yes, yeah. And they teach it like everybody's gonna do it. And again, it's like, what is this going to? Where is this applying? I've never had to use algebra. I've been fucking fine. And I'm not saying. And by the way, I work with numbers too. Okay, I give people change. Wrong change.
I work with numbers.
I work with heavy numbers. $44. Yeah, give me a 50. I'll give him 6 back.
He has an abacus by his register.
I put my hand on the 50 and then my hand on the 44 and I learned it again. I got $6 there.
Now, but Billy, he's like, fuck, I gotta start all over again.
Fucking numbers. Now, you know what though, man?
You give him $30 back.
But we have Watson in our pockets now. I got an iPhone that tells me everything I need to know about any number. I'm sorry, it just does. You know what I mean? And that's fine. So, okay. So adjust. Because the school, they try to adjust with the school system. It's like, then fine, do a nice little basic math round.
You're not revamping the curriculum to fit modern times in the modern
economy.
Not at all. That would be like say in whatever. Like 30, 40 years ago, if they were still teaching like blacksmithing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man.
The teachers just sat up there with a forge.
That's what.
Some kids grabbing a fucking big sword going, that's a fine piece of steel.
And this is how you survive a dragon encounter.
Exactly.
Like they're teaching shit that doesn't exist anymore. Dude, that's basically what's happening.
You all have homework. Get me dragon scales for armor tonight. It's like, what the fuck?
When those black eyes roll over white.
From the fires of hell, this forge rages on. Yes.
The doll's eyes.
The doll's eyes. Attention. Nah, dude, and you're right there, but it's so fucking
stupid, man.
But they do, man, and you want to know that we're right about how people are getting dumb. Walk outside. We're so fucking stupid. We're doing TikTok dances in the middle of fucking, the White House. There's a TikToker running around shaking his dick. It's weird. It's a weird time, dude. It's a weird time.
Oh man.
We're getting in on this though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you this right now. All right, I'll tell you what.
What do you got?
You want to talk about death?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right, so the university. All right, so do you remember those kids? Well, you said you didn't plug in much, but there was 4 people found dead in their beds at the University of Idaho a few months ago, and it was odd because there was no motive. There was no reason.
So that was pretty recent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Unless somebody fucking got pissed at kids, spin the bottle or whatever. These kids should not be dead.
Massacred.
Yeah, they were exactly. It's fucking weird. I mean, you wake up. I mean, somebody's gonna ask questions. Somebody's gonna see something. Nothing. It was just there seemed to be no motives for nothing. Well, surprise, surprise. There's a psycho involved. He has genius intellect. He's fucking cunning and smart.
And why are they all super smart? Like, what is that?
I think,
you know what I mean. Like,
I think the term blissfully dumb is one of the truest terms ever spoken.
So the opposite is probably true in some fashion.
The happiest people I know are dumb as shit. Why? Because they can look at this fucking awful world and go,
that's the only thought that runs through their heads.
And it's insane. And it's like sometimes it's like, man, it's like there's a reason why people have to listen to fucking music or drown it out just because your mind gets going and you think of all the awful shit and there's no filter anymore. It's just coming at you and there's more pressure put on us. We used to have to hunt little rabbits and shit. Once you get a rabbit, you're pretty much cool for the week. Back in the old days. Now it's like, hey, you got to work 15 hours or you're not making your rent, dickhead, and you got to pay your car too. But guess what? We're going to pull the plug on that because now you. And it's like, dude, there's just so much pressure put on the average person.
Well, now it's constantly like go, 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 go. It's like remember when you're Pac-Man and then you eat the little orb and the ghosts turn blue and you're chasing them and then it wears off and then you start to run away but now they're right next to you.
Fucker's right there.
And if you just barely hit the wall or make one wrong mistake, if you will, it catches up to you and then kills you. That's basically what life is like now. Like you're always trying to outrun that ghost and if you make one fucking mistake, you just get swallowed up immediately. There's no room for error.
They used to put hoods on their heads and ride around like ghosts or something.
Oh, yeah.
General Nathan Gump. General Nathan Gump started that.
Gump.
Yeah, Jenny, that fucking pig.
Oh, my God.
Christ. What a backwards-ass movie, man. It's so weird.
You were talking about murders.
Yeah, before it's fucking Gump. No, but anyways. So police arrested Brian Koberger. That's Burger B-E-G-E-R. Or B-E-R-G-E-R. That's definitely a fucking true.
Burger.
Burger. Give me gold or I stab you. Oh no, but
do you think that these serial killers? Because like, all right, so another thing that's weird is like serial killers seems to be obsessed with like women, murdering women all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
why I high five
do you think it's just they can't get laid, like they don't get any female attention?
No.
Outside of what's his face?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, thank you. Outside of him, who's clearly a player and a ladies man.
Jack the Ripper was fucking Ted Bundy. Ted Kaczynski was a good looking dude. He was very smart.
You have to have it out for women who want to exclusively murder them.
No, dude.
You know what I mean?
I think. All right. Look at the levels because first of all, a couple of things that you do. A lot of times, serial killers are white, right? So they hunt in their race. Typically, they like to go for their own race. So, if you see a string of white people dead, it's probably a white guy doing it.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Second of all, women are weak. It's not so much that they have this perpetual hate for women that they just need to get them out, as it is as the bloodlust. You know what I mean? And it's an easier prey. I can
see that being the case
look at kids. I mean, like what's his name?
That's true though. There's a lot of kid killing.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is the most heinous act on the fucking planet Earth. Not kids, man.
Yeah.
Not kids. Anybody else. Kill me. Shit.
Well, and then a lot of times, you know what? You got really violent motherfuckers. What's the? All right. Now I'm not gonna say it out loud. That'll get us too in trouble. It's a little early for that. All right. I'm gonna say this. Okay?
Let's get popular first.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get popular before I ruin us. Okay.
Before you end up in fucking Romania in jail.
I'm not gonna say it all, but I'll say half of it. I'll say where it was going to. Okay. People that work in people that work in old folks' homes, okay, they kick the fuck out of those people
all the time.
You think
all the time?
Yeah. You think it's just coincidence that this group of people works in an old folks' home, that it's like the 90% of the clientele that go in there? You think that's
where Conor McGregor should work?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He loves beating up old people.
Dude, they kick the shit out of him
professionally.
The elder.
It's the only fight he can win these days.
The elder abuse is insane. Now, so that's still a form of bloodlust, right? You like feeling that flesh when you're fucking hitting somebody and stuff like that. And it is enticing. That's why.
So you want the power of dominating without the challenge of having someone attack you back.
You ever get
a threat?
You ever get in a street fight and you walk away and whether you won or lost, you feel great.
Sure.
You feel you felt that flesh just hitting against somebody's fucking head and stuff like that. It feels wonderful. You release these endorphins. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, some people need that more than others. So when you talk about serial killers going out and murdering these people and stuff like that, it's a weaker prey. It's just a weaker prey. They need this to get done. And on a less severe level, you got people that work in schools or old folks home where they're an authority figure, and if you don't do what they say, you're getting fucked up.
That makes sense to me.
Like if
you're making sense.
Yeah. Like if I worked there, I go, Brenda, you didn't take your vitamins today. You're not getting a bath. You're either getting Mr. Bath or Mr. Wrath. You tell me. Brenda,
Mr. Bath or
if you don't want to see your grandkids for the next 2 months, you tell me, sweetheart. You make it. No, I'm just fucking around. It's terrible, but I mean that's the case. It's you know what? You know who's brave? It's fucking what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer. Gay or not, those were still men that
gay or not.
Yeah.
Or otherwise.
No, fuck that. No.
Is that toxic masculinity?
I guess so. It is. Yeah, I'll give him that. You know, where you think that just because it's gay, it's automatically. A lot of them dudes would have fucked me up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he what? Dude, he was a strong ass dude. That's why he had one of the wrestlers, one of the earlier guys that he killed. It was some wrestler kid. He kicked the shit out of him, came back, hit him with a thing, and I knew this long before the fucking stupid TV show. Don't get me wrong, Netflix was wonderful, but it's a well-known, you know what I mean? And then he was killing brothers left and right.
Are you serious?
Yes! Black dudes, that in-shape black dudes out.
I didn't know any of this.
Yes! Dahmer's a book sicko. It was a bunch of
But how would he do it? Would you roofie him or chloroform him or some shit? Or was it like he wouldn't just square up and fist fight him, obviously?
No, but I mean if things let's say they'd come back to the place and they wanted to leave early and he didn't have enough time to roofie them. I mean, he'd walk over with like a half-empty beer. Beer? Would you drink that?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't drink at his house anyway. I think it'd be gross. But would you drink that?
No.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And you know, some fucking. I don't know, man. Like, you ever see a scary movie and you look at the person and the protagonist in it and you think, how the fuck did you put yourself in this? Yeah, why did you put yourself in this situation? Why did you go?
That's like most of those movies. Yeah. Any of them that's not based on a true story.
Yeah, a lot of them that are based on a true story too. It's like, what the fuck were you doing out there?
Excuse me. Can you help me put this couch in my van? You want to use my phone?
We gotta end on that.
It's not even a question. Yeah. In fact.
But hey, no, let's finish the last story though. We actually never finished.
Okay.
So they caught the guy, right?
Yeah. So they caught him.
So back up point. So he was in school, college. He was going to be a doctor.
Well, he was getting his doctorate.
He was getting his doctorate.
He was going for life. He was getting his doctorate.
Where was he located?
He also had a couple of degrees.
Where was he located?
I think he was also going to University of Idaho.
Okay.
But he resided in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, isn't that where Joe Biden's from?
Yeah, salty airs.
It's just a little scrappy boy from Scranton.
Corn Pop, where am I? Let me tell you something. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Did I shit my pants?
Fucking retard. That guy's been stupid since forever.
Yeah.
That guy.
Obama used to make fun of him publicly, like when he was his vice
But you know what, dude? Honestly, even if fuck Obama, dude, you brought him in. You brought him back.
You know, who knows? I don't know what degree he had an influence over that decision. He didn't seem to care for him too much.
You choose your running mate.
Do you?
You say, I want this guy, I want it.
You know? I'm just saying.
I'll tell you
after the podcast.
I'll be real.
I almost said something that pertains to our job.
I'll be real. I'd take evil over stupid. I mean that. Joe Biden, the last.
No. I would rather have an incompetent nice guy than an evil.
His first.
How do you figure a mastermind of evil? You want that having power over the country?
Well, if I was making this choice, I'd be evil too. So I'd want a smart evil guy. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
$1 million. It's not even a lot of money.
Yeah, Zelensky, you need 1.7. Well, I need 1.9 trillion going the other way. And it's just fucking insane. But Biden's first presidential run, it was back in like 70 something. I forgot who was running against. It might have been against Reagan, somewhere around there. But Come on, man. He was laughed out. He was laughed out of it, out of the race. Why? Because plagiarism. He took
I remember that.
He took a bunch of speeches.
He was using
word for word. Nothing changed. He was using people's speeches. Is that not fucking retarded? I mean, so he can't even come up with even the slightest fucking unique thought that he could put on paper.
No, he's a dumb.
He can't hire a writer even back then. He's fucking retarded. He's always been this big, outrageous, stupid man.
He's a dope.
And now he's the leader of the free world.
Sleepy Joe, down in the basement.
Down in the basement. Sleepy Joe.
Sniffing Joe.
Sniffing Joe. Sniffing head.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Nah, I like this is my favorite when he's like he does this when he's talking the small hands.
I love it.
Alright, so Idaho, gonna be a doctor, killed 4 women.
No.
They found him.
Hey,
they caught him dead to rights.
He had his doctorates. He was going for law.
Sorry.
He's a
Let's finish this up.
All right, here's what we got. All right, 4 dead. Families are happy. Smoking gun. His DNA was there. The car matched the fucking everything.
What kind of DNA? Are we talking?
I'm thinking probably blood.
Blood.
I don't think he had time to rape anybody.
Unless he everywhere at every crime scene.
Unless he just rubbed one out on the way out. You know. It's like, fuck, I gotta go. All this murdering got me happy.
He's got whiskey coke dick. It takes like 3.5 hours.
He just keeps licking his dry palm, trying to do everything he can, just yanking on that chewed up piece of gum, doing everything. And now it's all red. It's all red and raw. It looks like Freddy Krueger's face. He's doing everything he can to just get it out. When he finally musters up enough to shoot out that little
that tapioca ball of
where it doesn't shoot, it just leaks out the bottom onto his balls and just starts coming out, and he's just going ah. Honestly, when you come like that, when you finally
relax, I'm a doctor.
When you do have coke dick and you do finally come like that,
yeah.
It's not even that.
It's not even gratifying.
It's not even gratifying. You're just going, I did it. I came. I fucking. You all said I couldn't.
You turn into Mel Gibson.
And you love me.
You made me sell my paintings.
You made me. I want a woman, not a little girl with a dysfunctional comic. I love Mel.
We gotta play those tapes. We're gonna do a throwback episode one of these days.
We have to. That's my favorite.
It's
honestly,
gold.
I think that.
But O&A did it so well. But still, it's comedy rich. Those tapes.
But you know what? You know what's fucked up? Howard Stern did it amazing too.
Did he?
I'm not gonna give either of those. Yeah, it was funny with them. I'm not gonna give either of them too much credit though. I listened to it with nobody commenting on it.
It's funny on its own.
Dude, I laughed just as hard.
Yeah. You should have blown me.
You should just smile and blow me. Dude, the funniest thing though, him arguing about rich people shit is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking catastrophe you wore to the Christmas tree lighting. You can't even fucking smile. See, this is mean. Get it? I love.
I'll show you mean.
I'll say this is mean.
You're a bitch. God, he just starts cursing around. He's like,
yeah.
Breath.
And she had fake titties, right? He's so mean about her tits. He's like, and those tits, they look awful. And she goes, well, don't worry about my tits,
man.
And she goes, fine. I'm just saying they look stupid.
Yeah.
It's just an opinion. Keep on. See
Tits.
what I give a shit.
You
He calls her tits stupid.
Person I've ever met in my life.
How could you hit woman with baby, sweetheart? You were sitting in 10 feet of snow in Moscow, sucking any rich dick that would pass you. Now you live in the most fucking affluent house on the street, and you got
money.
And you got exactly, and you got the balls to give Mel any shit. You know what you should have did? You should just smile and blew him
before the jacuzzi.
Fuck you, lady. If your only job is to keep Mel's dick happy, fuck you, lady. I'll do that job. Give me the money you did. I'll take the job. Fuck you, lady. I'm so tired of hearing about what problems what horrible things she had to go through.
You're like, I'll be in 5 minutes, Mel.
Dude.
Just stretching out that jaw, just getting ready.
He talked to you mean? Dude, my dad talked to my mom like that every morning.
He was practicing on a zucchini every night.
Dude, it was called breakfast. If you grew up in my time, that's just how dads
It was called
talked.
The roast was cold.
Exactly. How could you hit woman with baby in it?
It was called I didn't want casserole for the 3rd time this week.
You know how he could hit a woman with a baby in her hand? I call that 2 points. Just joking.
I'm
joking about that.
I call that he had a tough day.
Exactly. I call that he had a good range.
Maybe rub his feet afterwards and it won't happen again.
Yeah, no, so really. You're sitting in you're sitting in a fucking $8 million home.
I think as long as you keep an open hand, I can't even finish this. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, finish.
You won't go to jail as long as you keep an open hand. It's not abuse.
Well, they hit men now. What is that?
No one should hit anybody.
Yes.
Can I just make this abundantly clear? Nobody
should
fucking hit anybody like ever. Anyone who hits someone else should be able to get hit back across the board. I don't even give a shit who it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Keep your ass to yourself.
There was a time where men had such the upper hand. Ow! Just kidding. Yeah. They had such the upper hand.
You mean the overhand?
Yeah, the overhand. No, they had such the upper hand that when they would smack women, it was really awful because it's like, dude, not only does she have no
Sean Connery, sometimes you have to give them a little slap. Women are designed to test you.
I told her shake and not stir, and I had to give her a slap for it. But it's like. Back then, you think it. Now, I see a video every day of some chick punching a dude and expecting him to go, well, I would never.
That's why my favorite video is it's an old one too. It's an oldie but a goodie. Do you remember the bus beating? Where the dude's sitting there and she's harassing him and he's like, he finally, after she hits him, he gets up and he's like, you're going to jail now. And he's walking towards her. You're going to jail now. He dips down, bop, uppercuts her, knocks her out. As she's collapsing, he grabs her like a duffel bag and just launches her off the bus. Yeah. That is justice at the highest level. He took that shit for like 4 minutes, man.
Dude, like you never would have guessed that Joe Frazier was working for
that ham hock.
Yeah, Joe Frazier was working for Bart. And
you could see he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he got torque on it. Bah. Like, he really came up on it, man.
I'm sorry, man. Some people just need a punch. I'm sorry, it's just
You're
true.
going to jail now.
Men, women, and everything in between. Some people just need a fucking good slap. Yeah. It's just what it is. I've needed it before. I've had out of control times in my life where I needed somebody to punch me in my fucking face to let me know, shut the fuck up. You're grounded. This is what it is. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There's too many people running around wilding out now.
That's like Mike Tyson was just saying that recently. Remember, he was like, people were too comfortable disrespecting people online. Yeah. He's like, they forget that like you can actually get your ass knocked out. And then it was like 3 weeks later where there was that video of him just smashing that dude's face in on the plane.
Dude, no.
Glorious.
Dude, and what's so funny, they had
him like 18.
Yeah, no, but they had the balls to go, Mike Tyson viciously beating. No. That wasn't a vicious beating. Dude, Mike Tyson did.
He was pulling every one of those punches.
Mike Tyson was giving him baby steps.
Yeah.
What would be considered?
He had a couple of scratches. Exactly. You think if Mike Tyson really wanted to cave your face in with 8 punches, he couldn't do it?
Yeah. Not only that.
Come on, man.
You're 32,000 feet in the air with the fucking guy, and you're giving him shit. Mm-hmm. Are you fucking kidding me?
And he harassed him for a good amount of time.
A long time.
Especially. Mike Tyson showed a remarkable amount of restraint in that situation.
Love him. I love that guy.
Yeah, fuck that dude. He should have got his ass beat. Good for him.
Good
for Mike.
Those guys that still earn the title that like long after that you still call them champ. I mean, that to me that's so important.
That's like Shannon the Cannon.
Yeah.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Come on, champ.
Everyone's champ. Hey, champ.
Hey, champ. I love that.
I love the Cannon, man.
That. Who the fuck
do you remember when
Shannon?
Dude,
don't be mad at me. I was going with it. I do not know Shannon.
So we'll have to pull this video up at some point in time. So Shannon the Cannon Briggs was a heavyweight boxer around the same time as the Klitschko.
Oh, I know Shannon Briggs. I'm sorry. I know Shannon Briggs.
Hilarious guy.
Sorry, yes.
There was like a 6 month or a 1 year period where he was just trolling. I think it was Vitaly or Vladimir Klitschko because he wanted that fight. One of the all time best is like Vitaly or Vladimir. I forgot which one it was. I want to say it was Vladimir, but. He was on like a canoe in like this lake canoeing, and Shannon Briggs shows up in a canoe too, like found out where he was. Yeah. And he's like, "Let's go, champ!" Like, just trolling him on the lake.
Fucking canoe.
In a kayak.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine doing everything in that peaceful thing, just sitting there on that calm waters of whatever fucking like Russian shit river, and that guy comes up screaming in the most American way possible.
If it's easy. Okay, let me pull this up real quick. Zoop. Whoa. I will get better at that eventually.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, no,
Shannon,
eventually, when we get the better computer, we could upload the videos like we did the first time, remember?
We'll do that. Dude, he trolls the shit out of Klitschko, man. This is gold.
Wait a minute, are we on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like we've been recording longer.
There you go, y'all. There you go. There you go. Vitamin
He sure fucking is, man.
Vitamin
He literally trolled him in real life like this for like a year straight.
Hey, I bet you he knocks him off.
There you go.
What gave that away?
I'll take that, actually.
Is it maybe this?
What's up, Klitschko? What's up, Klitschko?
Let's go, champ.
Everywhere you go, I go.
Let's go, champ.
Huh?
This fucking poor guy trying to do
Yeah,
that
you think
stupid
it's funny?
water
You
activity.
think it's funny now? You think it's funny? Now you see me, I'm everywhere, baby. Everywhere you go, I go. Everything you do, I do. Let's go, champ. I'm the champ, and you the chump. I'm the champ.
I'm gonna probably have been on his team and just follow him around watching him fuck with everybody.
Dude, I would lose my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Klitschko, he actually held himself together. His composure.
Get out here. Get out here.
That child soldier Russian fucking attitude he has.
He always was a stoic guy, though.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Look,
Call me champ. Call me champ.
Poor guy.
Champ.
this is when trolling was done in real life.
Say champ.
You think that's a good workout? It's gotta be, right? Yeah. Make a wave.
Make a wave.
Make a wave.
Make a wave. I love this shit.
What's up, champ?
Dude, if I was him, I would just swing that orange Shannon.
One more in my hand.
Giant
I
head.
would have lost my co-gravity all that.
I cut my foot. Was that funny? Huh? When I cut my foot, was that funny?
But he hasn't changed at all, by the way. He's exactly like this to this day.
Dude, he's old in that clip. Do you think he ever learned his lesson?
No.
Oh, little man.
There it is.
Down he goes.
And then his laugh is maniacal laugh.
You know, technically, he knocked Klitschko down.
And he scored that as a knockdown.
Yeah, I'll put that in the books as well.
But like shortly after that, he they fought, and then Klitschko like beat the brakes off of him for 12 straight rounds.
Dude, you know, there's a funny
But
guy
it
and
was
then there's a
worth
guy
it.
that can fight. And there you go.
Just
you
for
know?
the press conferences alone, that shit was worth it.
But
I love that video.
you know, that sells the fight so well, and I think we lost a lot of those guys. Like, I mean, fucking Tyson could sell a fight, and he was never like, like this wordsmith or anything like that. He was just so fucking. The shit that he would say, people would lean over and go,
My offense is impetuous.
yeah.
My defense is impregnable.
The best was when Irish,
It's terrifying.
what's his name? Tommy, who was the big Irish guy who fought? Come on, man.
Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson fought the big Irish.
Oh, McNeely?
Yeah, Kevin McNeely.
I thought it was Peter McNeely.
Peter McNeely goes,
Oh, that was great.
yeah, he goes, and when I come down on Tyson's chin, I'm going to do it for the Hall of Ireland. And Tyson goes, you're going to break your head. He fucking
Dude,
come
an
up with
animal.
that. Oh, dude,
Dude,
he
an
was great.
absolute savage.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one, like, when he bought that tiger, the tiger probably looked at him like also a tiger.
I
Like,
think
didn't
that he
even
would have
view
been
him.
okay.
Yeah, he probably felt like a kindred spirit with
We
him.
talked about this, about like the world's best fighter, like if John Jones Bones could beat up like a wild boar. Like, I think it was really stupid because I know I lost that
Oh,
argument.
yeah, there's no fucking way, man. You don't realize how much stronger animals are than us in general. Without our ability to use tools and all that kind of technology and shit, like, we're nothing. Like, Bill Burr has that bit where, like, a squirrel can fuck you up. That's exactly true. That's exactly true. Animals are, like, he's like, by the time you process it, a squirrel runs up, he was like taking chunks out of your face.
Yeah.
You won't even be able to, like, realize it until it's too late. But, like, all
And you're right,
animals
like,
are stronger and faster.
You ever had a
and
cat
more
like
lethal.
get pissed at you and like hit you a couple of times? Now, granted, I think in the end I'm gonna win against a cat
house
or
cat?
a dog or something.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
that.
scratch
Yeah.
my face, but I'm gonna throw it through a plate glass fucking window. That's what's gonna happen at the end of that. But anything that's even like remotely our size, or you know what I mean, like.
Did we cover
What?
evolution and stuff? Is that?
Yeah, I think we did that earlier.
Are you sure? Was that?
No, I'm not sure.
You know
It's
what?
been a long day.
It's been a long.
It's been a long day. We've been all over
Yeah,
the place.
it
man.
feels like the day was even slightly longer.
It was. Do you want to do the Silence of the Lambs bit, or do you want to do that tomorrow?
No, I say save it for tomorrow. I say that we get an episode.
If you can't
3.
tell, we love Silence of the Lambs, and
It's
like
my
even though it's
favorite
not
movie.
a comedy, there's all kinds of great shit in there. It's just There's so many funny sequences in there. It's hysterical. So we'll bring that back maybe tomorrow and close on that. But yeah, I think we should probably wrap it up for tonight.
Wait, can I say one silence? Can I do one Silence of the Lambs? Like, can I just do one?
Please.
Okay. So Clarice walks in, and it's like literally just meets Hannibal Lecter and multiple Migs. You guys met him on episode 1. Multiple Migs goes, I can smell your cunt. And Clarice just like rolls by because like back then people didn't care about stuff. She just like let it roll off her shoulder, and she sits down in the chair. And Hannibal Lecter goes, when you were walking by next door, multiple Migs said something to you. What did he say? And fucking with his straight face, Jodie Foster looks him in the face. She goes, he says, I can smell your cunt. Fucking Hannibal Lecter leans toward the window, takes a whiff out of the air bubbles, and goes, I, however, can't.
That's the whole line.
Dude, that was so good.
I thought he was gonna do the fava beans like.
He feels the same way about the Census Bureau. Nick hates Census Bureau. I don't know what the fuck it is. Nick hates Census Bureau workers, and he goes, a Census Bureau once tried to analyze me. I ate his liver with some fava beans.
Oh, that's where that came from?
Dude, that's where that came from.
I wish you ate all those fucking census cocksuckers, man. They drive me nuts.
Fucking people.
They're so entitled, man.
Questions.
Demand your time.
Your time.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Not a fan.
And I assure you, any money that they gather for the community is never gonna go where you.
Remember, you kept the lady was like, "Oh, it's very important." I'm like, "To you?
Yeah.
I don't have to do homework because you knocked on my door and told me to do it."
I want to use the funds to make these Census Bureaus stop. Can we?
Can I vote for that? Can I vote to get you fired?
No. So why do I need to fucking talk? You know?
Yeah.
I have.
It's rude.
Can't.
I can't.
It's the best line in any movie ever. It's so funny because he just says it with his shape. He's like, I have.
I love that guy. We'll bring him back tomorrow.
Look.
All right. You want to wrap it up?
You want me to take us out?
Go ahead. Do it. Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Irish Spaghetti Podcast. I am Billy G. This is Nikki P. We are saying good night, good luck, and have a wonderful New Year's. Episode 2 for the books, sir.
Boom.
Boom.
God bless everybody. Free Andrew Tate.
Free Andrew Tate. Top G.
Take care. Happy New Year. Well, we'll do that on New Year.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, fuck, bye. Easy for me to pull up. We'll watch this real quick. You can keep talking.